Tonight, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Tonight, we've got the crew set for what should be a real treat, a great Monday night matchup, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Detroit Lions. Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And we are underway from Ford Field. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl, and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Just beating the play clock is Goff. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. They'll run for the first time with a speedster, Jahmyr Gibbs. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field on 4th down. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. And he wants Reynolds way downfield. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward.
I tell you what, this is not for the faint of heart right here. 4th down, this is taking a big risk. But it's as good a play call as you can imagine. And the defense just not able to come up with the stop they needed. And this is not just a first down, but a big play as well.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Another run for Gibbs here. He's down inside the 10 to the 8. And it comes on a gain of 8. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change things up? Because if you don't, they're going to put that ball in the end zone real soon.
Montgomery is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions.
Like what we saw right there, good running down near the goal line, because that was a really good drive. They were able to possess the ball, have some early success moving it downfield, and then clearly the most important thing, finishing things off with the ball in the end zone.
Dan Campbell makes the call. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll try the draw. And he will get in to make it 8-0. Interesting. I mean, they're putting their foot on the gas here early, going for 2 to go up 8-0.
Well, after that drive, you have to believe that they thought to themselves, if we can do that, what's another 2 yards? Let's go get those and get 2 points as a result.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Here come the Seahawks and their offense now under veteran head coach Pete Carroll. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A run by Dallas to start the drive. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Play action. It's Smith. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Now Smith. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing is Smith. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. The Seahawks will call on Michael Dixon on 4th down to punt this one away. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. This could end up being a pretty big drive. I mean, look, yes, it's early in this game, but they scored the touchdown. They got the stop. And now if they could get in the end zone here again, CD, they could grab an early stranglehold on this one.
Yeah, they certainly can, and that's what you're looking for. Where's the advantage? Can you gain it? Can you press it? Now for them, finishing it off, because right now it's out there for them. They've just got to go seize it.
From the end zone, Goff. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a 1st down. He's settling in nicely here in the first quarter running the football. Remember, he already has the touchdown run.
And you can feel the vibe, can't you? He's in unison with his offensive front. They are in concert together. So if you're flipping over to the other side of the line of scrimmage, they've got to be more physical and handle some of these gaps that have been created.
So a little more space to operate now. 1st and 10 from right around the 12. From the gun, Gibbs will get it. Brought down around the 16 or 17. Showing some tough running there. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
They'll let this go deep for St. Brown. And this one incomplete. A 50-50 ball in the end, nearly intercepted. And now it's 3rd down.
They geared up and took the deep shot downfield, but it turned out it wasn't one-on-one coverage. Extra defenders in the area, and that one winds up incomplete.
Throwing on third. Goff. And incomplete on the deep ball.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Here we go on fourth. Goff. That's to his running back, complete. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they find a way to convert there on 4th and 6.
And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th.
I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
Again, Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. To throw is Goff. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
That one let go deep for Laporta. Oh, and that is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room?
Yeah.
Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
Walker now on 1st and 10. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
This 2nd and 4. Now Gino. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Well, that was his first target of the game, and it's going to take at least one more target to get him on the board. Took a nice substantial hit to jar that catch loose from him. Incomplete pass.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Gino now to throw. No, it's out. Smith lost it, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A bad 3rd down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because It's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field now that you've turned it over and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down, now they lose it. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start things off with a give to Gibbs. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. Doesn't look to be any confusion here as they come up now on a 2nd and 6 following the delay of game. Now it's gone. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense. And they'll start with great field position, trying to get back into this one. It's 1st and 10 here. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
To throw on 2nd down is Smith. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. Smith now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
They brought in the heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a 1st down.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Throwing now is Geno. And This is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on first down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
They'll try for the first with Walker. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop them short of a first down.
And Pete Carroll looks like he likes his chances with the offense on the field. They're going for it on 4th. They'll run for it. It's Walker. There's the stiff arm. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. So give him the first down. 1st and goal after a pickup of 4, and the decision to go for it pays off. Deep in the red zone, seemed like they had their mind made up that was 4-down territory, and now they've got it inside the 5.
I like the way you looked at that because you're thinking just like a play caller and a head coach who gave the play caller that authority. It was 4-down territory. They went for it, picked it up. They didn't get the touchdown.
And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Seahawks have cut the lead back down to 2. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. He's got it, so they take just the 1 here, and that makes it an 8-7 game in the first. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it ends with a Tyler Lockett touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And Detroit getting set to go now. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
Well, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And running with power here. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty. That was huge after being behind the chains on first down to make this second very manageable.
Yeah, how much pride do you have in an offense on first down to get that kind of yardage? Because it actually opens up your playbook on second down. You can run it, you can throw it, you keep a defense off balance. I like that phrase, stand ahead of the chains, and they're doing exactly that.
Reynolds will go in motion right. He'll get it here on the jet sweep.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now.
They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
They'll try the air now with Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they had that one snipped out defensively. That's a tough one to connect on when you've got multiple defenders in the area, and it winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10.
Now Goff. That is caught. Josh Reynolds. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 27-yard line. 27 yards there, a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 27. A shotgun snap for Goff. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
Now it's 2nd and 10.
Play action. It's Goff. He's going to go up top for the end zone.
And, oh, it's incomplete. Oh, that would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in.
Well, every point certainly counts at this stage of the game. But after driving so far, you absolutely know they want to finish it with 6 instead of 3.
On 3rd down, here's Gibbs.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Goff and his guys not coming off the field. They're going for this. They'll drop to throw. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
with an acrobatic catch.
And the Lions' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
Wow, talk about a big fourth down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it and having that type of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
Goff and that Lions offense staying on the field. They'll try for 2.
They'll try the draw. And he will get into the end zone. And it's now a 2-score game as the lead moves to 9. So 2 successful 2-point tries now for them.
And you know what it does? It gives you a boost, a huge one for your team because, hey, you're dominating them now. They can't stop you either scoring touchdowns or 2-point conversions. But how about the defense? You don't know what to do at this stage. You can't stop them in any direction.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
Block it in motion right. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end or the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef, they want to run the football. But that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
Bulldozes past him. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Now a 3rd and 6.
Back to throw, Smith.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Man in motion left. That's Smith and Jigba. He's going to get it on the jet sweep. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd and 3. This is Dallas, an inside handoff. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, handoff to Dallas. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
Partner, there are strong running plays, and then there are plays where you simply outclass the defense, and we saw the latter there. They ran straight up the heart of that front for an excellent gain and 1st down. Simply put, you've got to put up more of a fight defending the middle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
Now Gino on 1st down. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. Here's 2nd and 3. From the shotgun, this will be Dallas. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
Well, if they continue to run the football this strong, right up the middle, I don't know if they can wait till halftime to make adjustments. They better find a way to get it done series to series. I don't know if they need to sub some guys out, bring in extra people, maybe change what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. But right now, they're running the ball very well right at them and right up the middle.
Here's Walker. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Off of play action, here's Smith. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Seahawks are back within a score in the 2nd quarter, and already his 2nd touchdown reception.
Absolutely the definition of a difference maker here in this first half. Clearly one of his quarterback's favorite targets in this game, and I figure he's going to draw a little more attention and coverage moving forward.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's good. It cuts it to 2. 16-14 our score. So that drive, 12 plays in length.
And it ends with a Tyler Lockett touchdown.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Here's Khalif Raymond to return.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And Detroit back in possession of the football. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their own 27. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield.
Well, obviously they never want to see penalties on that defense, but this one a little bit more significant there on the downfield pass play.
And coaches preach it all the time. You can't put yourself in that kind of position if you're the defender. You've got to stay in a spot far downfield where you can play the ball without creating extra contact.
Gibbs straight ahead.
And he's going to be stopped at about the 37.
52 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
So from the 37, here's 2nd down and 3.
Off play action. Here's Goff. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Josh Reynolds, 37 yards. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs, and I think they're going to at least take a look at this. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Goff and that Lions offense staying on the field. They'll try for 2. They'll try the draw. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. Their quarterback in this offense heading back out to the field. He's thrown touchdown passes on his last 2 drives as he begins here, 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had 3 tight ends in on that set.
And these guys are punching really well. I use boxing analogies a lot. A lot of coaches have told me that when you line up to run the football, it's 10 fistfights along the line of scrimmage, right? You've got to win your share. These 3 tight ends, they almost always win their fistfights.
Smith on 1st down. On the slant, it's Fant. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 10 more there and another 1st down.
Oh, that's a nice job of clearing space in the middle of the field for your tight end. He's going to start behind the line and run an angle route, hoping to kind of get lost in the middle of the field. And this is put right on him, and he's able to pick up a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, Smith. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the 1st down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or 2. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. So from the 22, here's 2nd and 2. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They'll get it forward to him on the touch pass. And they'll get him down right about the 20.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
The offense on third down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. They're looking at third and the nose of the football. Smith throwing again. That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Now Smith. Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
2nd and 6.
Now a draw play. It's Walker. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. To throw is Smith.
He's going to get this underneath to Dallas.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Walker is not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard down to the 3.
He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Here's Smith. That's caught at the 3. So no gain on the play. And now we've got a 3rd and goal situation.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. So here we go on a 3rd and goal. This Lions defense, they haven't broken yet.
They'll try and run. Walker.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
Ken Walker
taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Seahawks are back within a couple of the lead. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just one play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends are on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. For this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
Now Myers for the extra point. And this is now a one-point game. So that one a 13-play drive in total.
And it was Ken Walker finishing things off with a touchdown run.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. Detroit's offense ready to take over. As this offense takes the field again, it's been a while since they've been out there. We just saw that long touchdown drive by the opposition. But remember, when this crew was out here last, Charles, they scored as well.
And let's make sure we give both offensive staff some credit, and especially the offensive coordinators, because we spoke with both of them in the lead up to this game, and both were really confident in their game plans. They felt like they had scouted their opponents and focused on specific areas in practice this week to make sure that they were ready to go. And frankly, it looks like they both did an excellent job.
Yeah, we'll see if those game plans can keep this streak of touchdowns going here.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Goff now to throw.
To the left side and intercepted. Picked up by Trey Brown.
Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Kenneth Walker headed back out there. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well.
After the interception, here's Smith. And his throw here's incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well.
From the gun, it's Walker. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 63 yards for him on the ground so far tonight, as he has been terrific in this first half.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge.
Back to Walker on first down.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that. And that really chips away at your confidence.
The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6.
Smith.
On the slant, here's Smith and Jigba. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Straight ahead running. Here's Dallas.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Now a 2nd and 6.
Smith. Pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
John Kaminsky able to run him down for a loss of a yard.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Smith. And this is going to be incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
On comes the Seahawk kicker here on 4th down. It's Jason Myers from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Myers' kick is good. And with it, they have taken the lead.
So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Lions offense set to take over.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
Just shy of the 30. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And the defense says they have it. They do. One play into the ball game, an early turnover.
Following the fumble recovery, Smith. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on 1st down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
2nd down and 6 now.
A shotgun snap for Smith. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Now it's Smith. Being chased out left. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Oh, man. Just when the D thought they had the answer for him, he went and changed the question. Surprises him by taking off himself. He's able to set up his offense pretty with a 1st and goal.
Now Smith. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns.
And the Seahawks are able to widen their advantage.
These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. The extra point now coming from Myers. And that makes it a 9-point game. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it ends with a Tyler Lockett touchdown.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback.
And Detroit getting set to go now. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
And they work this well upfield across the 45.
79 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And all the way down to the 9. A big play there for Detroit. 45 yards on the ground. Great run there, but it looked like they were going to have him for the stop. He was able to push through. They didn't wrap up defensively.
No, they didn't. All credit to the runner for making it happen, breaking through some contact and going a long way. But the defensive guys, when they watch this on tape, they're not going to be real happy with themselves. They had a great opportunity that they let slip through their hands.
They'll run with Montgomery. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with second down coming up. They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Blocked right. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Lions have got it back to within a score.
As they began this last drive, things weren't exactly looking up for this offense. But after what they just did, putting the ball in the end zone, that took them away from the brink of possibly being knocked out of this game.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. And the lead is down to 2. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. There's Tyler Lockett and the rest of his Seattle teammates coming out for the next possession.
He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. On first down, Smith.
And he's got Smith and Jigba.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Throwing is Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They'll come up now, 3rd and 9.
From the gun, here's Smith. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow.
Aiden Hutchinson.
That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and the Lions will take over.
And the Lions going to go back on offense one final time in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're
a fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. Touchdown, Detroit. Josh Reynolds in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Lions have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half.
Well, someone has a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this late in the half to take the lead going into the locker room.
Now they just don't want to misstep misfortune on the next kickoff because there's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Yeah, you do have to bring that up, don't you? In the NFL, every play is critical. And if you give up something cheap there, all that advantage they just gained goes right out the window.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead is up to 5. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Looking to throw. Smith.
They'll fire one downfield for Fant.
His throw incomplete. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. In the first half, it was the veteran quarterback Jared Goff who had command of the offense. He threw a first-quarter touchdown pass, then 2 more in the second quarter, a 3-touchdown half. And he may just be getting started.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half.
And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback.
Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him, bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line.
A run by Dallas to start the drive.
He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
2nd down and 4. Out of the gun, Walker with it.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Let's face it, when you have a guy who can pick up those types of runs and keep the chains moving or stay ahead of the chains, you're making everyone else on offense happy because you're opening things up to allow for a whole lot of different play calls.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They run again with Walker. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. They'll try the air now with Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
This is Fant on the short completion, and they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it,
and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. This is taken at about the 14.
A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're rocking and rolling, but the scoreboard doesn't show a big difference. You know, maybe it's one of those games where coaches say you can't miss your turn on offense.
I like the way you phrased it, especially with that. I love that rocking and rolling because the explosions on offense are happening. So that's going to keep the crowd going. They're loving that. But defensively, they just can't get it together to get the stops they've needed in order to help increase their margin. They've got to find a way, but you're not counting on it. That's exactly what you said. Can't miss your turn, can't miss your opportunity.
Yeah, they're going for another opportunity now. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
And that flag accepted.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now Montgomery running right.
And he'll take this to about the 24, a gain of 3.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12.
Gone.
That one let go deep for Laporta.
And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. On 3rd down, here's Gibbs.
And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29.
4th down, a give to Gibbs.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
On 2nd down, Montgomery.
And this will wind up a Lions 1st down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
And yet again, Goff is intercepted.
Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line.
So this offense moving the ball well, trying to open up a 2-score lead here in the 3rd quarter, but now potentially a play that could have big ramifications.
Yeah, you've driven the ball down the field. Things are looking up, but it takes just one bad decision to throw things off the rails.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field.
The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10.
On first down, it's Smith. That's caught over the middle by Fant. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. First down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Geno'd out of throw. Flushed out right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Straight ahead, Walker.
And a solid run down inside the 30.
81 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good...
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
Aiden Hutchinson bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left, and this will remain a 5-point game.
Detroit's offense ready to take over.
And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. Play clock down to 0. And this is not the way to start a drive.
And they'll accept that penalty.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
High throw, but he makes the catch. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 27.
Here's 2nd and 10.
They'll try the middle with Montgomery. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated.
So give him 3 on that drive. Normally you'd say, we'll take it, but the way points have been flying around, it feels like a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, you just have to wonder, are field goals going to be enough? Because as you pointed out, the way touchdowns have been scored, does kicking a field goal actually put you at a disadvantage the rest of the way?
There's Tyler Lockett and the rest of his Seattle teammates coming out for the next possession.
So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a 1st down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now Geno.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now back to throw.
Smith and Jigbo hauling it in on the out route.
And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
They'll come up now, 3rd and 3.
Throwing again is Smith.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Cameron Sutton.
And the Lions are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
Just shy of midfield at the 48.
They'll start things off with a give to Gibbs.
And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Now Goff. Going to throw deep for the end zone. Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions. 4 touchdown passes now for Jared Goff. And the Lions go up by 2 touchdowns. The fly route works for the TD Graham.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
Badgley on for the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was Jamison Williams wrapping things up with a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping.
And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He'll find Metcalf. So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down. Running left is Walker. A solid stiff arm. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10. Down at the 31. Throwing now is Geno. This is Fant on the short completion. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. From the red zone now, Smith. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Third quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Smith now to throw. And that is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Myers' kick is good. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. David Montgomery and the Lions about set to begin this next series. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. And with the play clock reading 4, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
This is 2nd and 8.
Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And he'll be taken down after a decent gain, and that will bring us to the end of this third quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 4.
Well, you got to think, Charles, that one's on the quarterback as everybody was up at the line of scrimmage. He just didn't call for the snap in time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit better awareness out there because you got to know when the clock's in single digits and either snap it or get a timeout called if you have one.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give them 25 yards. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Play clock all the way to 0. Didn't get the snap off. 5-yard penalty.
And you see the head coach writing that note on his play sheet right now. He's going to be addressing that with his staff. A sense of urgency. Get to the line of scrimmage. Snap the ball.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
Still 15 yards to go. 2nd down. From the gun, Gibbs will get it.
And now off to the races down the right side. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
1st down. Here's the run with Montgomery. He will push his way down to about the 14. It was Jaron Reed who got him down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll run with Montgomery. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. David Montgomery, his 2nd touchdown of the night.
And the Lions have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter.
And that right there is the definition of a statement drive. You're in the 4th quarter, trying to get to the finish line, and here they were able to hold the ball for a long time and move it down the field. And how about them finishing it off with the touchdown run? Winning football 101, check that box.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that will make this a 19-point game. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Now Geno on first down.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Back to throw here.
This is the tight end Fant.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Third and 2.
Back to throw, Smith.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
From the 50, it's Smith.
That's DK Metcalf running the slant. He's got it.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. To the air again, Smith. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Out of the gun, Smith.
A quick target here, complete to Metcalf.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a third and short yardage call. Through the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out third and long.
Third and 2, Smith.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 14. 11 yards for number 11.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Now Smith. He's got his big tight end, Fant.
And the Seahawks are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Smith throwing again. Eluding the pressure right. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Geno Smith taking it in from 4 yards out.
And the Seahawks have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Now Myers for the extra point. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. That time a 9-play drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. You see David Montgomery heading back out to begin the drive.
He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
And he's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just got to have a grin on his face every time his number is called, because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays. Nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their own 25-yard line.
He'll begin by dropping it off to Montgomery.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard. They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery.
Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be...
And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked.
And the offense moving quickly to the line. Off-play action. Here's Goff.
He wants Reynolds way downfield.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got him this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
On 3rd down, they go Montgomery. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. .43 yards on the punt, return of 4, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
To throw is Smith. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
They'll run on 1st down with Dallas.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 3.
Here's Smith. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
They'll try for the first with Walker.
Now the ball comes loose, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
All fumbles are costly, but that one really hurts because he had the 1st down.
Yeah, and that's all he needed, right? But the problem is we coach these guys to try and get more, but that doesn't count if you don't bring the ball with you, does it?
And Detroit getting set to go now. They sit in a good spot, having the ball back after the fumble recovery and up 2 scores in the fourth quarter. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Walker now on 1st and 10. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Smith. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 24-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Smith. That's complete to his running back, Dallas. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Now 2nd and 5. Here's Smith. Completes it to Fant on the right side. And the Seahawks are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Touchdown! DK Metcalf, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
Well, after another passing touchdown, I don't think it'd be an understatement to say that he's in the zone, and I believe he likes it.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And this is back to a 5-point game. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Khalif Raymond now.
Raymond now on the return.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Do what you do. Let's go, man. Play football. Let's go.
Detroit's offense ready to take over.
After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand-new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you've got another thing coming.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And this will wind up a Lions first down as good running gets them to about the 44.
So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Handoff comes to Montgomery. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3. They go ahead and snap it. Gone. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. So that's a decision that could loom pretty large here. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty.
But I actually like the call. And the reason? It shows me a head coach has faith in his team overall. First on the offensive side, thinking they can pick it up. But also knowing that he has faith in his defense that if they don't, they'll go out there and stop them. I like the confidence he showed.
So Geno and the Seahawks down by 5, under 1:20 to go. And the 4th down stop gives them a new lifeline, at least for the moment. Here's Smith.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions, and that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Smith's going to throw it.
Escaping the pressure right. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
The sound reverberating here in the dome. This is 3rd down. That is caught. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
This is Fant on the short completion.
Here comes 2nd down. Smith.
Steps away to his left. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
Well, this crowd into it now. 3rd and 2. Smith to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and a little bit of a surprise they lose the turnover battle, but wind up winning the ballgame.
And this is very unusual because you know all teams stress winning the turnover battle as a key indicator to winning ball games. So when you get something that goes against the grain like the one we saw here, it's quite the oddity. Now let's face it, they'll be very happy that they pulled this off, but they do know that in the future they've got work on taking care of the football because this won't happen very often.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.